Back in 1988, a lot of the now health delegates, we all started off as part of surgical teams. And so the main reason for me to go to Somalia was that because they had a lot of fighting up in the north, or whatever part of Somalia it was, and there were a lot of weapon wounded. And what had happened was that the Somalian government had flown all these military from the fighting and brought them back down to Mogadishu. And of course, they put them in this buildings right on the coast, which became known as Martini Hospital. I mean, it was just an empty, big couple of warehouses sort of in a compound. So they asked for, I think, a 10-member ICRC surgical team to go and look after these guys. Well, the aim of the ICRC was to make sure that while we couldn't cure or long-term treat any health conditions that perhaps we identified, but I think the main aim for us was just to make sure that the people were well enough to get on the flight and to get them back to their countries. But it was a very emotional thing. I mean, I distinctly remember being in the plane, and some of the people, of course, had never flown in their lives, so they were quite tentative and quite nervous and things like this. And of course, when they arrived in Dawa, which is the city, where the people were landed, I mean, my God, it was emotional. It really was. It was just something you couldn't envision people being out of their, being prisoners in another country, and all of a sudden they've got the opportunity to go back. They sort of walked down the gangplank of the plane and they kissed the ground, and it was amazing.